What's up, you guys? It's your girl Kista, and I'm back on another video. And on this one, I'm going to be talking about a photo shoot I did titled Tomato Juice. I'm going to talk about planning to execution and everything. So stay tuned. Okay, so I don't even want to start with where did I get the name from, because that was the last thing I did before I even put the pictures out. That was the very last thing. I had been thinking about that for so long. But I'm going to give the very beginning of this concept. I'm going to give the inception of this concept, the story of the inception of the concept. Basically, I was going through Turnpike Lane and I saw the background that we see. And I knew that anyone who is born or raised in Nigeria or has Nigeria heritage, if you see that, it looks nostalgic. It looks like home. It looks like somewhere familiar, somewhere we know. And that was already one of the things that started getting my mind going. I have always wanted to test my fashion expression in an editorial stance. I've always wanted to do that, especially because I know that creative direction is in my story. So I wanted to start putting my hands and eyes and everything to work in that regard. So honestly, the tights and shoe combo was something I came up with last year. I didn't know when I was going to use it, but I knew that I liked the concept of red tights on denim shoes. I just loved it. So when I kept passing that place, because I usually take most of my free time looking at spots I think would be great for photo shoots. So as I was going there constantly, I clocked that, okay, this is somewhere I can do something very cool in. I clocked that this was somewhere I could do something cool with. I could do something cool in, and the tights and the shoe combo started coming to me. So I got to my house and I'd be trying the tights and the shoes and with different variety of things. And then I came with the gray shorts and the white top. The white top, that was not even the one I wanted to wear. I wanted to wear something more something without hands. But when I started talking to Japheth, when I showed him the picture, when I showed him the silhouette, the white top looked better. With Japheth, he's the one that took the photos. I've always known him to have a very dark aesthetic, but he always gave raw images, period. So I knew that I would love to work with him, and we are friends, so it wasn't going to be a difficult conversation to have. I reached out to Japheth. I was like, yo, see what I'm thinking. What do you think? He's like, okay, let's do it. I'm already guessing that from the inception, when I showed him a picture of the spot and when I showed him the outfit, I don't know if he already started thinking he was going to have to step out of his comfort zone, but I kind of started thinking that, okay, I'm going to take him somewhere different that from what he has done before. And this is my first one, so I think I was also very loyal to the image I had in my mind. I usually am. So I knew that there was not going to be much compromise. She was just going to have to follow me and see where I was going. Photo shoot day. We decided to link on a Wednesday, I recall, and we said we're going to start work from 3 p.m. The sun set by 7, so we had to be a bit quick, but we got everything we needed anyways. We started with the first set of pictures that have me from that you can see, that you gauge me from across the street. Those particular photos, those were the main images I had in my head for Tomato Juice. I wanted something very modern, very contemporary, very Nigerian, very African, but still very abstract, and I think I was able to capture that. I think Japheth and I were able to capture that. We did some with the bags. That's part two, which was really really cute. They were a bit up close, and I felt like a model in those ones. I felt like I was marketing a product. I had my topicals lip balm on me, the slick salve. I had it on me to kind of like just fling around and show what I could do as a model marketing a product. The third one was me with the bag but far away. Um, those ones were almost like the outtakes of it all, rounding up, and you can see the sun setting because my tights are not as bright anymore because of the shadows. So that was that. Um, it was very funny when he was taking those pictures because it's like no one is going to stop for you. So we were waiting on the buses and the traffic lights to go red so that Jaffa could go in the street while the cars were still there, and he took the pictures, and when he went green he would run back to the road so that the cars can pass. When the bus would stop, people would be passing, and that was the inception of some of my favorite pictures from the project. People were just randomly passing and just doing their thing, living their life. I liked that element of it so much because I want life to happen in the midst of art. I think that's the best way to enjoy it, not to have it all staged and choreographed. Let life happen to the photos sometimes. I think that is how I want my images to be going moving forward, because I'm going to do more creative direction for sure, with me in front of the camera and me behind the camera as well. But yeah, so that is something I want. I like external factors to play very important roles in my work, and we're able to do that. People were so kind in their cars, like little girls were waving at me, throwing hearts, kisses. I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. I know the outfit came together really nice. I showed it to some older people and they were like, they're not understanding this, but like I was very, like, I saw it from the very beginning. I saw it, it made sense, and I liked that I followed my gut till the very end of that. Editing, I knew that I wanted the pictures to capture some very vintagey elements, very modern but timeless, something very timeless, like you can't really place a time, place an era to it. Most of my influences, there was this shoot that Meiji did. That was a very strong influence. There was another influence I can't particularly remember, but I'm going to put them on the screen regardless. I was very clear. Oh yes, Solange. There was this video of Solange that was very filtered, very heavily filtered, and I liked that filter, and I wanted it on the work. Or something of that nature. But for the most part, like, I let Japheth cook on the filters and on the editing period. When he sent back the first few versions, I wasn't totally satisfied with it because it kind of captured Japheth's photography style. And granted that I knew he had a unique style, we knew that we wanted to push ourselves. I wanted to push myself by starting my run as a creative director, and I wanted Japheth to push himself by playing with lights and brightness and colors, because that's not something he usually does. So when I will show like the first edits. He did. I didn't particularly like them. There was one I liked, but it made the tights too bright and I just wasn't following. It wasn't just gelling for me. So I kept explaining and he kept going back to the lab. He kept going. He was very gracious about it, very calm about it, because he wanted to be creative as well. He wanted his limits to be tested as well. So I think we came there with humility, with equal, working spirits. So he took all my notes with stride, went back to the drawing board and delivered on the images we have finally. My favorite image is probably the one where I'm posing my hands on my waist and the bicycle was passing. I liked that one. Like I'd explained, I like when life, plays a part into my projects. I can't really think of them on the top of my head, but I have a lot that I liked from that project, and I'm ready to do more. Like I've said, I'm ready to expand my limits as a creative director, as a producer, and much more. So yeah, very grateful for this opportunity. Big shout out to Japheth, big shout out to me, big shout out to all of you that showed so much love to the project on social media. And yeah, stay tuned for the next.